What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. This is another video in relation to the top boxes. Last video you would have seen me install these on the bike itself. Today we're going to be running power into the top box. This contraption here, I've got three cigarette lighter ports, USB-C, USB and two USB on the side with an on and off switch, and then each of these three ports have their individual on and off switches as well. So what I'm going to do is double side tape that to top of the box in here. So when I'm traveling, when I'm on the road, I can still have my devices charging, camera, laptop, anything that I can use on the road can be charging while I'm driving or riding. So that will go in there. Then we need to run power to it. So what I've decided is, I've got this here, which is a flush mount SAE plug. That's going to mount, I'm just going to drill a hole, 22mm hole just there, and mount that in there, glue it down with some heavy duty silicone sealant, and then run that into the case like that. Connect these two power cables to the power cables inside there, and then I'll jump over to the bike and I'll show you the setup on the bike that I've got to get the power to here. So setup I've got on the bike here, so underneath the seat here, I've already undone that with the key. I have this SAE plug here, which you can use for trickle charger and anything else which is connected directly to the battery. It's got a cap on it just for protection. So what will happen is the CFMOTO top box will sit here. This plug will plug directly into the bottom of the top box where I put it. Tuck the excess cable away, put the seat back down, and that will plug into the top box. Seat will go down, and then we've got power running into the top box. So while I'm out on the road, I've got devices that can be charged. So that's installed on there. Put the cap back for safety. Alright, we'll head back over to the desk and I'll show you how we're going to do the power input to this. Alright, so like I said, I've got the drill here, got the small drill bit, and this goes up to, it's just a step drill bit, goes up to 22mm. Keep that aside. So this here is going to mount just on the inside there. So I need to work out where exactly this hole is going to go. And what I've done is here, just got a square, which is X. And X marks the spot of where we're going to drill. So it is a bit nerve-wracking having to drill directly into a new top box, but that's just what it has to happen. So looking at it here, just mounting, trying to eyeball where it's going to go, and definitely have to mount it up and down, and I reckon we're pretty well spot on there. We just need to make sure this here doesn't hit the seat, but I think it may, but I might have to trim a little bit of that off anyway. So what we'll do is, I don't want it curving down the side here, so what I'm going to do is might move it over a little bit, mark the spot which is going to be right there, and we'll get on to drilling this. Alright, so I just did a quick recheck of where I wanted to go, and I sort of wanted to go a little bit lower just so I can get this bit here a bit closer to the edge here. So what you want to do is, before you drill anything, you want to make a punch mark. So your drill bit is centered. Okay. Another thing I want to check is, so I'm going to drill right on that edge there, about an inch or so up from, we'll go from where this rivet is, about 2 inches from the, about an inch and a half from the rivet. So split the box open, then we just have a look at where we're going to be drilling. So can't really see in there, it's a bit hard, but where we're drilling is going to be through single aluminium, just a single side of aluminium, which shouldn't be too hard. So we'll close this up and we'll make that first drill. This is the nerve-wracking part. Okay. So that's the first bit done. This is where there's no turning back. I think my battery's dying on the drill. Yep. See if we can make this cut without having to recharge. Alright. Alright, I'll clean that up later, because I'm going to step in that and get that all through my feet. So, oh, that's perfect. So, that's sitting in there nice and perfect now. And that's how we want it. So, what I'll do is I'll open up the and we'll have a look inside here. Actually, for that, I might just empty out all the shavings in here. So, as we can see, we've got that hole there. Just need to deburr it. And yeah, so when we stick these cables through, it fits perfectly in that hole there. And alright, now we've got to get on to siliconing this down. I'm still tossing up between actually putting a couple of screws through here to hold it down or not, which I think I should. Too long. So what I'll do is I'll get this in and we'll mark out where these holes are going to go. What I might do is I might do these two screws, and then I'll fold around and do these two screws. Alright, so I've got my 5mm drill bit and my 5mm screws. I'll just test it on this piece of aluminium just to make sure that it's the right hole size, just so I'm not drilling the wrong hole. Now I'm going to get this fairly straight, so Alright, so I'll stick a bolt through there. Now we've got our guide for where we're going to be going for the rest of them. So stick that through. So I've got a 16mm and a 10mm bolt in there, and I just want to double check the length of the thread to see which bolts we're going to be using. So the 10mm bolts. So there's plenty of thread. It's a bit hard to see there, but there's plenty of thread on the 10mm bolt. Yeah, we've got at least double the nut width, so a bit of Loctite and a bit of silicone around that will be perfect. So I'm not going to put lock nuts on yet. I'm just going to put standard nuts on, just to tighten it down for now, while we get the two side ones in, because they are a bit fiddly as they are on a bend. So just to make sure we don't move, I'm going to put some nuts on these. Don't have to be done up tight, but cool. All right. So we've got our two screws in there. Now we'll just do these ones around the corner here, which are going to be a little bit trickier, but it's got to go slow. And again. So before I go and mount everything in the hole, what I need to do is work out how much cable I need to run from the top here down to the side, and then trim this back down a bit and make sure I've got the positive and negative correct, because on the bike I believe the male version on the bike is actually negative, which this is positive. So I do need to switch these around from negative to positive. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down, cut this one down as well, and solder them together to the correct length. So we'll do that now before it's all mounted down, so I can pull it through. So what I want to do here is work out. So I'm going to mount that about there. That's going to come down to about there. Leave a little bit of extra gap length. So I might trim it back to about there. So okay. So what I want to do is I want to mount. I want to get a fair bit of this here because I want to double up on it. There we go. So got those, and now we just want to solder them together and put a bit of heat shrink over all of it. So just realized I didn't hit record for soldering this. So this is what it is. It's soldered up now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run some of this cloth tape around it just to make it look a bit neater. This is going to be behind the felt it liner anyway, but just for show, going to make it look a bit neater. So pretty much use this cloth tape on any of my electrical work, and what I can do is slip it through there, make sure it fits. So let's make sure that fits. Turn this around and put that up there, and it's all looking good. So to mount this, what I'm going to do is get a bit of isopropyl alcohol and spray there. Make sure you get rid of all grease and any other contaminants that might stop the Velcro sticking. And for the best practice for this Velcro is actually heat it with a heat gun. So you want to just heat that adhesive, and usually warm the part that you want to be putting it on, because you don't want to be putting this straight on cold. So that's warm. This is warm, and you're going to mount it about there. So that's perfect. What we're going to do is going to do up these screws. So I'll show you what it looks like inside it. So this is what the inside's looking like. What we want to do is just want to take this out. Now it doesn't want to come out. There we go. It's a bit hard to see from this angle, but what I'm going to do is put a bit of this silicone around the outside here. Alright, so a bit of that silicone on there, slide it through the hole. Okay, make sure that silicone's going to seal up nice and well. And then we want to grab some Loctite. So I've got this Loctite. What I'm going to do is just going to stick a dab on each of these screws here. A moment to change it. So I've got an electric screwdriver. Just going to go from this side and just do these screws up a bit until they turn, and then I'm going to get the 8mm spanner on it. Okay. Before this dries, I'm going to get isopropyl alcohol, cover my fingers, and get rid of all this Loctite and stuff off it. So, there we go. Got rid of that. What I want to do now is grab your 8mm spanner on the back of these nuts. Just do them up. Okay, so how are we looking? So it's a little bit messy in there, but nothing too bad. So now I've got that power box there. It's just mounted on your Velcro, and that's not coming off. Even the Velcro doesn't want to disconnect, but it doesn't bother me because it's all good. So that closes fine, no issues there, and that shouldn't be in the way of anything. Turn it on and off, easy enough. Now this side, something else I've got. A Dometic 150 watt can inverter. So I want to mount that just there. So I've got 240 volt power, and then that's just going to plug into there. So again, just heat up the Velcro, heat up that, put it on, bit of isopropyl alcohol, give it a wipe. Alright. So now we have 240 volt power and 12 volt power with USB chargers and cigarette lighter sockets, all in the top lid of my top box. And she closes, opens fine. And let's take it over to the bike and we'll see if fuel powers up. Fingers crossed. So after giving the top box a clean out, we can still reinstall it. Just line her up on these points there. Okay, so open her up. There we go. We have our items there. Power cord here. Everything's installed. Okay, moment of truth. So, like I said, just the standard SAE plug, and that's going to go in the side here. So, plugged in, perfect. There we go. We have power. So, quickly grab you off the tripod here. So, as you can see, we have power here. Turn these on and off. This on here. Turn that off. And we can turn that on. And we've got power up at the top here. So, the green light's on the top, the fan's going. That's all good. So, I think that's a success. Cable's going to sit there nicely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the felt liner back in and see how it all goes. So I've just got the other camera out now, the other lens out now, just to give you a bit of a closer up look at. So as you can see, it's all mounted there, nice. Turn it on, it's all working. It works directly off the battery. You don't actually need any power, so you do have to make sure you turn it off when not in use, or it will drain the battery, or just unplug it. Looking inside the tub here, there's no issues with now let's get to focus. So there's no issues with it sitting behind there. It's just, it bumps out a little bit, but barely. It's hard to tell, so that'll be fine there. Come around this side, that's the plug there. It does sit out a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm going to have stuff packed up here anyway, so shouldn't be too bad, and no one's really going to sit there. So, and then that just unplugs, put the cap back on, and it's all good. Alright, so that's the power install. Might get a couple of little tabs to hold the wire so it's not bouncing around here, just little zip tie mounts, but closes. Doesn't have that much weight to it, but it means I can have things charging in the top box when I need to. So all in all, pretty happy with it. These definitely aren't going anywhere. Doesn't matter how much, even trying to pull them off, you can't get them off. I'll quickly show you what I've used. So this is what I've used to put them on. It's yeah, holds up to 4.5 kilos. I think it's like every inch is 4.5 kilos or something. So it holds there really well. There's definitely no movement in those. So happy with the way it's turned out. Happy with the whole pannier layout. So looks all good. This is the rest of it all on there. So all right. Any questions? Let me know. We'll see you in the next video.